Welcome, everybody. On this somewhat gray day, we bring our own light here on this joyous occasion, the annual return of our Reverend, our shepherd for decades, Gary Cole. One of the most beautiful people I have ever been privileged to know. This, according to Gary, who keeps tabs of numbers, is the 3,150th celebration in our church. Ain't that something? Plus or minus. That's right. So, before I begin, besides Gary back there, I guess, and Steve was here last week. I guess there's Gary, what's your last name?
Derek.
Derek.
With a D. Derek.
Sorry. I'll just think oil Derek. I guess we're all regulars here to enjoy our Gary. So I will exit and the celebration will begin.
Oh my gosh. Anybody see my glasses? I honestly was looking for them just now. Oh, fun. Well, let me just say it's been great to be here this week. We've had a really wonderful home camp, well attended, and we've had meals 3 nights this week, and we did a fun. Actually, the hike in the woods was really awesome, and I have some dried leaves and things that I brought in from that on the altar. And then we got rained out when we were going to go over to the Grounds for Sculpture in Hamilton, and we instead went to the Mercer Museum here. And it was just not Mercer Museum. Michener Museum. And it was fabulous. And if you get a chance to go in the next month or so, there's a wonderful sculpture show there. And I'm inspired by that place so much. When I first came to this town in '83, there was a person in the congregation that got arrested, blah, 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 for something, and went to the prison. And I went through the great big wooden doors there and, applied for visitor, went in to see him, and I was in that. Big, huge, kind of like whale sculpture in New York City in front of one of the big, probably the Trump Tower or something, who knows? Yeah. Anyway, they were tearing that building down, so it wasn't that, obviously. And they didn't know what to do with his big new museum here in Doylestown. So when you walk up past the library and you walk up to the museum, this big wooden sculpture is done by a local artist, Ray Barger. And we had, until it was stolen, we had here a beautiful sculpture when I first came, like this, kind of a vaginal design with a seed inside of it. And it was called Birth. And Ray Barger had done that, and we have no idea whatever happened, but eventually, maybe it's in one of your houses. No, no. Eventually, you got it at home, Derek. That's great. Somehow it did disappear, and you have to expect things like that when you're open and you have a lot of people in your building and things like that. So it was a sad moment, and it was only like, where's the statue? Because it used to stand like right here. And all of a sudden it wasn't anymore. But anyway, so we had a wonderful week, and I suppose, 30 or 40 people all told, participated different nights and stuff like that. So I was really excited about it, and I think everybody who participated. Then last night we had a really awesome open mic here. And I put some lights up to make it more like a theater or whatever for that. And it was wonderful. So, and Heidi Freemer was here. She's an old member of our community, back in the town now since January, I think. And I think she'll come by. She was really inspired to walk in here. And she's dating Durwood Bro right now, who's also an old person. Great. So it's nice to see them together. Yeah. So anyway, the flowers are from the yard. Went out into Mike's garden, which is a bunch of a garden this year because, and it'd really be great if you could encourage some gardening club or something to really do veggies back there because it's good soil. And Mike had some great years there. And, but now look what it's doing. It's beautiful. It's growing other kinds of things. And there's a gourd there. Did you plant the gourd vine in the center, Mike? Yeah. Well, I went out and picked these this morning. They're just so cute. I don't know if they're gonna ever shake or eat them or what, but they're really, really fun.
As long as we're not out of our gourds.
Sorry? Yeah. So it is autumn. It is harvest time. And it's great to celebrate the harvest with all of you. And anybody have a birthday this week or this month they want to celebrate and sing to you? Happy birthday. Well, somebody is having a birthday on Tuesday. I get on the airplane and I'm flying to Mexico. And while I'm doing that, Jimmy Carter is turning 100.
Wow.
So Susan's going to pass around pens, and that little piece of cardboard or a little piece of oak tag on your chair is something for you to just write a little bit of a note there. And this is to go to Jimmy. We're going to send a big card to him. I have already ready to do that. I want to tell you that when Jennifer and I were just having our sons were like 10 and 12, we moved to Plains, Georgia, just outside of Americus, Georgia. And we went to a commune there. We lived there for a year. It's called Koinonia. And living in Koinonia was really wonderful. It's a Christian community, and I was really into communes at that time, and somehow feeling alternative life was important to me and my kids. So we lived there, and my boys went to school in Plains. Well, Jimmy Carter had just that year finished being president. So I went to Maranatha Baptist Church, and there I was in a Sunday school class with Jimmy Carter, my teacher.
Wow.
So there every Sunday I would drive over to the Maranatha Baptist Church and participate with about a dozen other people in Jimmy's home church, and he would lead our Bible class. And it was really great. And I got to really enjoy him and like him, and we got to be friends. And so I invited him to dinner. And he and Rosalind came over to our commune, Koinonia, to have dinner with their two secret, there are people watching over them in case everybody wanted to kidnap him or whatever at the time. And they came to dinner, and we had a wonderful lunch, which we have communally every day. About 60 people lived on the commune. And so Jimmy and Rosalind were there, and I introduced him to Millard Fuller. And Millard Fuller is the CEO and the origin originator of Habitat for Humanity. And Koinonia was the original Habitat Center. We built 20 new homes in 2 different neighborhoods, and they were sweat equity. If you're going to live in one, you helped work on it. There was your mortgage was interest-free, so as you paid for it, you ended up owning your home. And all of the people who lived in those Koinonia Village, 2 of them, they were all Black people who lived on the plantation in little shacks. And they one by one, they moved into these beautiful concrete buildings, homes, 2, 3 bedroom places with, indoor plumbing, the whole deal, great. But the person who really did that was Millard Fuller. He was the one that kind of designed all that, and which eventually he turned into Habitat for Humanity. And so Jimmy and Millard met that day at the dining table and talked afterward. And that was the beginning of Jimmy's connection to Habitat. And I think they helped build over 200,000 homes and all around the world. And at this point, Habitat is still in many of our towns. It still has offices there. And I always just, when I think about Jimmy, and I've written him a number of times, I've gotten some things back. And when Rosalind died, I got a lovely message from them. And so I thought, well, he's been in hospice since last March, a year ago, thinking that he was on his, last whatever. And in the meantime, Rosalind died this last spring. And it's like, so interesting that he has watched all that happen. And now on Tuesday is his 100th birthday. So I just want to honor that in any way that I can. And so if you could take a little card and take your moment to say, Jimmy, we respect all that you have given to us and your, whatever it is, thank you very much, and sign your name. So that's whose birthday it is this week. I hope that he lives to see, Kamala and Tim win an election 37 days from now, and maybe even be inaugurated on the 20th of January. That would be quite a milestone for someone who's 100 years old and the oldest president, longest living president who's ever existed. Yeah. Okay. Covered. So today is Orange Shirt Day. How many of you know about Orange Shirt Day? Well, Orange Shirt Day is a day that our government and Canadian government are doing what's it called, a National Day for Truth and Reconciliation for the children who were sent to the residential schools all over the United States and Canada to assimilate the kids into an American way. Their hair was cut. They were punished for using, their indigenous language. There are 93 of those schools in the United States. How many of you know where Carlisle, Pennsylvania is? One of the most famous of them, where was a lot of cruelty done, and they found lots of graves there, and there have been over 973 graves, unmarked kind of like graves at these indigenous schools in the United States, and as many or more in Canada. So it's only the beginning, and they say there are probably thousands of them. Some of them were brutally treated by the priests and the people who were running the schools, and disease, all kinds of things happened to them. And it's just now we're awakening to it. This is the first year of the Orange Shirt Day. And the orange shirt was a gift given to one of the women when she was in 1993, when she was sent to an indigenous school. And so she's the one who's really promoting this reconciliation time. And today, actually the 30th of September, which is tomorrow, they are celebrating all over the United States Orange Shirt Day, because it was taken away from her when she went into the indigenous school. So it isn't, there's still a couple of them. We think now that maybe the schools are really positive experiences where they're getting opportunities for children who are indigenous, people who are being sent places where they can really get a good education. So we hope that that's true, and it's not anything like it was. It was started back in 1879, when the indigenous schools were first made. So they were called Indian boarding schools, you know. Oh, let's send all the kids to Indian boarding school, make a nice, and they were, you know, stolen from their homes, and the Federals, people came in and like took them. And there's movies and things about it if you get a chance to see it. It's a very sad and passionate thing. So Susan's going to light the peace candle for us. Let's keep those kids in our minds today as we light that peace candle.
And we all have peace in our heart. And we know that peace exists everywhere. And then all we need to do is concentrate it. All we need to do is concentrate on it and make it bigger and watch it get bigger. Just concentrate on getting it bigger. I don't know, I get turned off, but that's okay. Send love and joy to everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Woo! So we're going to sing There's a New World Coming, but we can't because we don't have the words for it and we don't have a piano player. So instead, that's what happened when, you know, Rosalind's gone and Alan's gone and our connection. We're so glad to have Gare here to set up the Zoom so people at home are watching. That's great. So we're going to do something else instead. Over on the piano are the words from a song that we've been singing all week at our gatherings. And it's a chant. And I'll sing it. All peaceful, may all be peaceful. Hello, whoever you are. Let's start again. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well and share in equanimity. Let's start again. Here we go. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well and share in equanimity. Then it's free of suffering and its causes, sharing prosperity, safe and protected, loving, creative, and free. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well and share in equanimity, free of suffering and its causes, sharing prosperity, safe and protected, loving, creative, and free. Third time is magic. You should be able to get it. Yeah, come in. Hi, Joe. Happy Orange Shirt Day. Yeah. We just did a big thing on that. Understand what that's about. Yeah. And this is really a Buddhist prayer that I put to music and added a few things so that it would rhyme and stuff. But mainly it's just like all beings, you know, deserve all of this. And if we put this out as a prayer and take it in, then we got it. Let's try to go a little slower. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well and share in equanimity, free of suffering and its causes, sharing prosperity, safe and protected, loving, creative, and free. May all beings be peaceful, may all beings be happy, may all beings be well and share in equanimity, free of suffering and its causes sharing prosperity, safe and protected, loving, creative, and free. There you go. Thank you. New world coming. This one's coming to an end. There's a new world coming. You can see it if you try. Coming in peace, coming in love, coming in joy, coming in peace, coming in love, coming in joy. There you go. Also, announcements, concerns of the community, and then we'll do our, the prayer list. Anybody have, come up if you got something to share, something that's coming up?
This afternoon, after celebration, any of you are interested, you can paint rocks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be outside or inside, but wherever we're most comfortable.
Hey, Moose, your sticks are gorgeous.
They certainly are. And I don't want you to use any of those sticks on the Trumpers today. The Trumpers are out today. They're locomoting and training. They're already on the roads. And I want everybody to be careful and not get in any fights. And behave yourselves.
Yeah.
Act like decent, normal citizens in the midst of this madness. That's it.
Thank you. And Joni, who was here last night, was saying that there are hundreds of new Harris signs that are at the out on Lower State Road at the, and also at 301 South Main Street at the Doylestown Democratic Office. Great. The ones that are this big are the ones that are bothering me right now. I know. And the one by Elon Musk, it's on 95, same thing. Let's make America friendly and loving and caring again.
We're gonna lose like I'm so tired of winning, we're gonna lose like we've never lost. Okay, but if I don't win, it's great either way.
Thank you, Derek. It even looked like him when you were saying that.
He's very good looking, but I think I'm a better looking candidate.
Oh, what love we have. Right. Just sit quietly with your mind and heart open as we share the names of these people in our community who need our prayers. And that might mean a card, it might be a phone call, it might be just imaging them well and whole and complete, and believing that that's possible for each person. For all countries who are at war, for all refugees and displaced people because of war, for all candidates and election support staff everywhere in this country, for Andy Wright, recovering from recent medical problems, and his wife, Karen. He's in the Chamonix right now. For Diane Young and her family, especially her mother, Betty, who's recovering from open heart surgery. Susan Berger, Bedger, Bejger. Marla Starr. Maria Starr, I see it now. Thank you. Got hit by a car here. Janet Berkowitz. For Bill Metler and his treatment. No. Alyssa Davidson just moved back to Colorado from Texas. Chris LaRue, we talked to this morning on the phone. David had him talking to us. When I saw him on Wednesday, I saw him and Andy on Wednesday, and he was not doing well, but sounded really good today. Thanks. Yeah, thank you, David. I said, you probably don't remember my being in there. He said, yes, I do. Nancy Hesh and her relationship with her sister, Susan, for Cookie and Levi. For Tina Menkes, as she continues her physical therapy. Nice to have her here today. For Dave's friends, Diane Bynum and Kelly Benson, and for Louise Reiner, his cousins. For Annie Marins, for Norm Danis, Dave Nussel, for Chris Coolish and her father, Tony, who's well over 100 himself. For Moose, for Chris Engelhart, Jean Watts, Jen Watts, thank you. Wanda Canfield, Marilyn Stauffer, for the Ferraro family and for Jen Ferraro's friend, Larry Hackett. For continued prayers and blessings for LaTroya Russell and her daughter, Ayana. For Barbara Atkinson's daughter, L'Oreal, and for L'Oreal's sister, Genesis, and Barbara's brother-in-law, Ed. For Chloe Eisman and for her son, Joey Eisman, to find a healing for their relationship. For Judy Henderson, for Suzanne Wolf, for Betsy Zazo, for Billy Manning, who had foot surgery. The list is long. And maybe you'd like to name somebody right now that you are thinking about, who maybe an anniversary of passing or some reason that you'd like to have their name brought into our prayer circle today. Do so. Xylus, my grandson. Mhm. We are surrounded by the light so bright. We are surrounded in God's healing love light. We are surrounded in the light so bright. We are surrounded in God's healing love light. Oh. Yeah. All right, we're back, lighting the peace candle, which we did that. The new world coming, we did that. Concerns, prayers that people chant for all beings. Oh, we did that. Oh, good. We're ahead of ourselves here. And camp highlights, I sort of did that too. The home camp was just great. And we want, if you were part of it, hold up a hand. Yeah, a lot. Thank you. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, that was wonderful. Okay, we're gonna do all in this together, but instead of that, hold on, I have one called, ooh. It's called The Beauty Way. And it means you gotta stand up. Maybe left of you, to the right. You above me, beauty below me. I walk the beauty path. Before me, beauty behind me, beauty to the left of me, beauty to the right. Beauty all around me, beauty above me, beauty below me. I walk the beauty path. Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty to the left of me, beauty to the right. Beauty in the future, beauty in the future, beauty in the past. I belong to the beauty path. Beauty before me, beauty behind. Beauty to the left of me, beauty to the right. Beauty in the future, beauty in the past. We walk on the beauty path. Last time. Beauty before me, beauty behind. Beauty to the left of me, beauty to the right. Future in the future, beauty in the past. I walk on the beauty path. We walk on the beauty path. We walk on the beauty path. That's a Native American chant. Oh, I like it a lot. Reminds me. The walk in beauty. Everywhere we go. Gary, you're so attentive. Thank you, man. He was here almost at the break of day this morning. It was great. That was, we were all in this together. Yeah. So let's offer our gifts. I got something. I have here pebbles. I have a bunch of pebbles I picked up on the ocean. I have here some pebbles that I picked up on the ocean. And they've been laying in the salt water and kind of like connecting to each other. So when you give your gift, whatever you put in, take a stone. And remember the concept of the pebble rippling out. If you drop a pebble in the water, it just ripples out. And that's what Pebble Hill is about, rippling out. So take your love, your concern, your compassion, your healing, your politics, whatever it is, and let it ripple out into the world. Pebble Hill. The best thing. And where you take this little pebble home, put it in your windowsill in the kitchen, or keep it in your pocket, or put it in your garden. And as you do it, just put out your concern for our community, for its, its strength, its power, and its ability to continue to grow and touch the lives of many people out in that world. Yeah, this is the offering. It's a trade. It's a money for stone. Money for stone. Gift for Very good. Yeah, you never know how that ripple works and how we have to empower ourselves and empower our community to make the changes in the world that we know we're ready for, and to find our own creativity, to be able to process our experience, our hopes, our dreams, and to create a new world together. All right? That's what it's about. Thank you for that. So we're really talking, sharing today about creativity. This whole week was the theme of our camp was about being creative and expanding and going beyond our own little box that we often live in. And it's finding your passion, what it is that you are impassioned by, what it is that you as a creative person are able to bring to the world. And because of that, we are changing the world. And I have my own feeling these days is that my passion has been to create world peace. And I had a conversation with Larry yesterday, and it was really about what I'm working on right now. AI, artificial intelligence. I wrote a book some time ago called, call it a gift, call it grace, and it was about AI, but it was about artificial insemination, which is something that I participate. But AI has changed its story these days, and AI is artificial intelligence. And I have a person who I discovered this last February when I was back on our island in Bashan, having kidney surgery. I went to a meeting at the senior center, and this guy was there. His name is Ben Goertzel. Ben Goertzel is this CEO of Singularity Net. Singularity Net is probably the most active AI project on the planet right now. And Ben had called a meeting in Panama of several hundred people who are working on AI around the world. So it was an international conference for benevolent AI. And they videoed it, and I watched, 24 hours, because it was like 8 hours a day, 3 of them. I watched, kept notes on everybody, what was going on. And I believe that AI, if it's beneficial and if we can use it, that there's something in it that I'm working on. And it has to do with vibration and frequency, because we all live in a world that's got a lot of negative energy into it. And there's a lot of it has to do with the frequency that we're living under. And there are a lot of ideas that the future of medicine, the future of change, is in frequency and in music and in sound, even healing of organs, because all of our organs, all of our body relates to frequency. And so what I'm writing right now is a story about these kids on my island who learn about Ben Goertzel, and they go and they hang out with him and learn about how frequency and AI can change people's vibe so that we're not feeling the negativity. So if you're where you are, if you're in Israel or Hezbollah, or if you're in Gaza, or if you're in the Ukraine, wherever you might be, and you're feeling all this anger and stuff, if something happened to you that all of a sudden began to change your consciousness. So I'm thinking maybe Elon Musk, who has over 6,000 satellites up there right now, if they could, and you write it into your AI conversation, if somehow they could project sound vibrations to the earth, all over the earth. He's going to have 12,000 when he's done, supposedly. He doesn't seem to be very humanitarian right now, but you don't know. Maybe everybody can change. I even saw a whole video on how Donald Trump became a guru and changed and gave all of his money away, and it was a joke, but if somebody created it, there's possibility for everybody. So if there's somehow that sound and talk about people and AI, they believe that this can happen, the frequency can be sent sound, and there are a lot of different vibrations that change. 528 is universal love, 444 something, and 432, all these frequencies can affect the human body if we hear them. And you don't see that. You don't see vibration. You only experience it. And right now we're all under the sound vibration of 440 vibrations per second, which is not resonant with our bodies. It's dissonant. And because all the music in the Western world is tuned to 440 vibrations, then we get all of this fact that we're all listening 24/7. We're listening to music that's not in harmony with our bodies or with our minds or with our hearts. So if somehow we could, and the idea in the book that I'm writing is that the experiment happens on the island that I live on, that drones are out and they start, putting this frequency into our system, and the whole island changes. And so anyway, and then it gets hacked. I mean, that's what the story's about. That's how I learned, of course. But anyway, it's an idea that nobody's thinking about right. Nobody's looking at what frequency is about in terms of healing, except for the few people who see medicine as frequency and vibration as the future of healing. So that's my creative edge right now, and that's what I feel called to do. Now, several other people are going to come up and share what their little visions are about or how they got their passion. And the first one I have here is Moose. You want to come up and... I don't know why we keep getting this feedback. Maybe it's good move.
I'm going to read this morning because of the nature of it. I've decided to use these morning writings for my talk at Pebble this morning. How easy that makes it, but it's always easy to talk at Pebble. All the love and acceptance and appreciation flows up to this place in the front with the microphone. It's the very best place to be. If you haven't tried it for fear of shyness, give it a whirl. You can't lose. How can I sum up this past week and a half? All the emotions, all the connections, all the activities, sharings, communication, ideas, gifts, creativity, all the essence of Gary that has blessed us all. He's given his heart and soul, not to mention hard work and infinite ideas and plans created and executed for our benefit. His love is unending, palpable, alive, and potent. Thank you, Gary, for sharing your beautiful self and renewing the essence of Pebble Hill Church. You've given us food for our minds and hearts, food for our bodies. You've upped our energy and been a true inspiration that will carry us far. My body has carried me far this week. I am grateful for its having stepped up to the plate and performed at a superior level. I intend to keep performing at that level with all the strength I can muster. I can do it. I am doing it. I've been shown with inspiration how much I'm capable of. May I continue to maintain all the enthusiasm of my heart and my body and complete my reason for being. I so love this life I've been given. I am truly blessed. Thank you. I've been shown through my poetry how truly exciting and fun my life has been. So many interests, so many magical adventures, so much beauty and passion and delight. It leaves me breathless sometimes. I've listed some of my passions. Traveling out west, big sky country, big feelings country, mountains to view from afar and to climb their rugged slopes and feel their magnificence. Magnificent skies out there and here, every day, each one unique. At one point out west, I was driving and I realized that I was surrounded 360 degrees with thunderstorms all around, the lightning coming to the ground all the way around. I was in the middle and there was nothing there. Another magical adventure I had, which I have shared with some of you, is that I went to my favorite place when I was in California, an open space reserve, and it was a misty, foggy morning, and the hills were just, the mist was swirling, and I thought it looked so much like the Scottish Highlands that it looked as if a bagpiper might come out of the mist at any moment and come down the hill. 5 minutes later, a bagpiper came down the hill out of the mist, and I talked to him. I love these magical adventures. I've had encounters, especially this one with a great horned owl, where the little birds were hassling it and following it, and it was distracted, and it landed on a limb about 10 feet from me, facing away. And I had a great opportunity to just study it and take in its beauty and its grandeur. And when I had enough, I made a sound, and it swiveled its head 180 degrees and looked at me and then took off silently. Painting in Pennypack and Pennypack Park, I was in a field painting the grasses and the weeds. And while I was painting, a dragonfly came and sat right in the middle of my painting. And I got to study it and take it all in. And when it flew away, I painted it right there, and I painted a weed for it to sit on. So my life is just full of these magical adventures. Camping alone in remote areas of intense beauty and great adventure deep in magical forests. Curling, twining, reaching, twisting vines, climbing high. I'm entranced by them. Nuggets of wood in stunningly beautiful shapes, having been weathered by wind and water. Smooth, round rocks. Funny and endearing animal videos sent to me by Dave Perkins. They just give me so much pleasure. Jumping out of airplanes solo 5 times. Swimming in the Galapagos with penguins, giant sea turtles, sea lions, fish of stunning color, and best of all, sharks, into whose hangout I wandered. My latest passions are painting and poetry. The most potent of all my experiences is ongoing, my rich and joyful connections with friends. What would I ever do without Pebble Hill? All of these things and many more lift me and move me and help me fly.
Brava, brava, you.
David, Dixon, that David. David.
Hello. How's everyone? So I was told to be brief, took discipline. Here we go. As a child living in a world of war and damage caused so much grief, and being raised to care about others, my state of sublimation dictated action. I also found superheroes an inspiration, but being a realist, shed that vicarious existence for the real thing. Realizing my role in it all, however inadvertent, I really wanted to be part of the solution, also by people like you.
I think I should go next because I don't think anyone should have to follow Bill Miller. I'm so happy to be here and to participate in this joyous occasion, the return of Gary Cole, the annual return, like the Swallows in Capistrano. I do have a little sadness in my heart, and I love and trust that this is a place where I can share my heart. But first, I want to begin by expressing my deep love and deeper gratitude for Pebble Hill, for our church, and for our congregation, because I know and feel that everyone that comes through that door shares the same yearning for spiritual wisdom that I do. And We are different people. We may differ in the details, but that love, that yearning for spirit is the same within all of us. And we may take that for granted, but when you leave the cocoon of this congregation and go out into the real world, sometimes you are just smacked in the face by how low the consciousness is. So I am deeply grateful for Pebble and for everyone here. You help sustain me. I want to ask, who among us has read through and tries to follow the wisdom of the Course in Miracles? Raise your hand. Some of you, not so many. Course in Miracles was my late wife Jessie's spiritual anchor, her North Star. And even before I met Jessie, I was strongly taken to read through it, even though it has a lot of capital H Lord, capital, this kind of Catholic stuff that grinds me a bit. I still felt there was something in there for me. And as best I can say, what the Course in Miracles says, and by the way, Chris LaRue, Ray Winfelder, God bless Ray. Hey, Ray, Brother Ray. And I used to travel a distance to be with Chris LaRue as he held a course on the Course in Miracles. And the thing about the Course in Miracles is you could hold a course, but you could not charge money for it. It had to come free will, no commerce, just the light and spirit. And the main thing that over and over again in the Course in Miracles is that you are never attacked. If you feel attacked, that's your ego, your tremulous little ego. If you have fear, that's your ego. There is no reason, no real fundamental reason to have fear in your life or to feel you're attacked. It's just not so. It is your ego saying that. And so it is that that I feel able to say, I want you all to know that I love you, and we can have differences, but we are one. That I have a little sadness in my heart that Pebble Hill, after 30 years, after 3 decades of being unique among all the places I know, was an egalitarian interspecies church. Now, we are still an interspecies church, but we are no longer an egalitarian interspecies church. There is a division, an apartheid, and those children of God with 4 legs and a tail must, no matter if they're causing trouble or not, must wear restraining leashes. They must be restrained by rule now, as of the last 2 weeks. Whereas people, also children of God and equal to the children of God that are dogs, no matter how poorly they behave, we don't put leashes on them. So this is a kind of apartheid. It just is. Now, the people who want this are people of good intention, as we all are people of good intention. We are. But this recent development, after 30 years of freedom, of inclusion without restraint, has gone by the wayside. And that puts a little sadness in my heart, even as I must accept it. So now Gary will pass pictures of Cinnamon, my dog, who was the first congregant dog to be in this church. And I want everyone here who brings a dog to our church to thank Cinnamon, because she showed the way to that. And you can see in those pictures, no restraints, just love and safety. And, you know, it's always, there's no absolute right and wrong. And no one is perfect. And no one knows this more than me about myself. I would rather, it was, well, an inanimate object, a rug was soiled, was peed on. Now that, to me, that rug could be washed, and a rug shouldn't be elevated above creatures of God. But other people feel differently, and they have their reasons. And it is what was decided rather swiftly in council, and a little bit secretly too, because it wasn't divulged to the congregation, which I'm not in favor of doing that. Secrecy, you know, the Washington Post says democracy dies in darkness. Well, a congregation, if you don't trust your congregation with the truth, no matter how controversial it must be, I don't agree with that. But listen, I am not trying to demonize anyone here, because I also believe that we are all children of God, 4 legs, 2 legs, all of us, and we all come here with a deep need for spirituality. But I'm thankful for the opportunity here today, the trust of our congregation, that I can speak my heart and let you know that without anyone hopefully feeling attacked or wrong. Thank you.
It's not that I don't disagree with what he's saying. So I did not endorse this message today.
You're good. I just want to come on up. I do want to just say one thing, that's not at all what I expected him to do today. When we met together to talk about what today would be, I was honoring him for the caretaking he does of so many people. And he says service is something that I really love to do. And I, caught him doing a few of them in terms of helping people and being right out there with it. And I thought, yeah, this is definitely a gift that Dave has, and now he did that. I love it. That's great. So now you're in service to the animals. That was beautiful. I don't know what.
Well, my brothers and sisters, I feel great. Your prayers are top notch, because they've made me bulletproof. I'm in great shape. I've had 34 treatments, 34 of them. With each weekday, I get a treatment since middle of August, and I only have 4 left. And I'm feeling good. And thank you very much for the shielding, or the, more appropriately, for the harmony and the frequency that your prayers send out. I have received them, and I am very blessed for it. So thank you, one and all. Today, we're talking about passion. And I love Gary's passion for frequencies. When I go in for treatment, the beauty part of Penn Medicine and their theaters of healing, you can suggest a song or a piece of music to play. So I gauge what I need when I'm in the waiting room, and I choose a song. The last one on Friday was, well, I'll get to it. I was going to suggest that. So the last one on Friday was Shostakovich and Waltz Number 2, which is sort of half waltz, half clown music. It's got trombones in it and drums, and I just felt joyous. You have to lie still as a rock or a stick, and you lay there and receive the, into the prostate area, and I am just enraptured by the music that is available to me. So I completely identify with your frequency idea and your passion for it, Gary. And David, I love your passion for dogs. I have learned from that. Not being a dog or a cat person, I can feel, it's palpable, your advocacy of dogs. And so Brenda and Deb and Nancy and all the folks, Pam, who bring four-leggeds to church, I love one and all of you. And I love your dogs too, in spite of my history. Thanks for the affirmation. So we're talking about passion today. And 50 years ago, Bonnie, my wife of 2 years then, we were on a bus. It was one of those rounded buses, that have no corners. And we were going up Mount Batur in Bali. You could look down from the switchbacks and see the sky and the clouds reflected in the flooded rice paddies. It was miraculous. The bus cut back and forth and finally arrived at the top. And at the top of Mount Batur, an ancient site of a giant volcano that blew the whole top off the mountain. It's about a crater that was 5 miles across in diameter. And in that crater, there were century-old collection of aged lava, hardened and black, and growing amongst the lava were ferns, a bounteous collection of ferns. And so we could see across at about maybe half a mile out from the rim where we were standing was a spout. It came from the earth, belching up. Out came magma, and it was spouting, and it sounded like a distant 747 jet taking off on the runway. And there was, if you could kind of rock it, you could feel the ground rumbling under you. And I thought, oh man, this is kind of puts everything on edge here. I'm feeling especially alive and temporary. And so I would walk around as if on eggshells because of this rumbling and the magma, the molten lava spitting out of this thing. So I decided, let's see how close we can get to it. So we took a hike into the ancient crater, which was filled to the brim, with the lava that had hardened. And we gave it a respectful arc, this spout, and it was actually pointing toward the jungle that we were going to go into to see the Shadow Puppet Theater. But it was not flinging so much. Every once in a while, a piece of magma would come out and like kind of a frisbee and then flop on the ground. But mostly it was oozing. So I came up from behind. Bonnie was with me, bless her heart. And I walked up the back edge of this spout, which was tilted. And I stopped because I could feel the heat. And there was heat from it rising off. And I just stood there for a minute and watched the odd pieces of lava fling out. Well, that was enough for me. I backed off and we went on the path into the jungle because as dusk approaches, we knew we had been put wise to the shadow puppet theater that was going to occur in this village in the jungle. So we walked down the path, we came upon this village, and the village had nipa huts and thatched roofs and stuff. And right in the middle of the village was this giant communal space covered and protected from the rains. And in that space, the Dalang, the shadow puppet master, had arrived with his troupe of musicians. They had carried in pots, ceramic pots, and wooden xylophones and drums, and even a flute or two. And these guys set up on the far side of this folly, this giant communal service, this building. So, and of course, all the sides were open for the winds and all. It was just protected. We were all protected. And there assembled were the villagers and perhaps some of their friends from neighboring villages in the jungle. I marveled that here these folks were, everything was from the earth of Bali. Everything around me, the benches, the wood, the instruments were all from minerals and wood and reeds and fiber from the island. The Balinese say, we don't have any art. We just do everything the best we know how. And so as a consequence, there's art everywhere. Every surface is covered with beautiful design. I marveled at these people. They were like ancient Greek theater where families would arrive and sometimes the plays would go on for 8 hours. Well, that was the case here. People had picnics. They had their kids all around, and the kids, they would see these plays from the Ramayana, the ancient Hindu texts, all their lives. Now the Dalang, he walked through the village. And even though he was only 5 feet 2, he walked with great presence. And I saw the people pay him respect. They honored him because he was not only a storyteller, he was the radio, the television, the newspaper, the library. He was all of the things that we have here from separate elements. He just ingested all of it and would put the contemporary issues that were bearing on the people and the problems and all of that were embedded in these ancient texts that he had his puppets to picture. So there was this giant log that stayed in the village all the time because no one was carrying this log in. It had a crack in it, and there were 100 puppets. Each puppet was made from caribou bone. It had from the bones of the caribou, or a piece of the horn was a stick, and the puppet itself was leather from the caribou. And it had sometimes one moving part, and the hinge that with a pin was of caribou bone. And it was meticulously filigreed, and the eyes and the lace and the helmet and whatever. Simar, the elephant, had his trunk, and you could see through where the trunk was next to the body was cut in. They were all for two-dimensional presentation because sheet went up between the audience and the gamelan band. And there was a lamp right behind the sheet. They had to wait for nightfall because otherwise all of this would be washed out by the sun. Then everybody was ready. The Delang took a seat in back of the screen, and all the musicians were poised right before the xylophones, the drums, the guitars, the flutes. And I was amazed that you could sit, if you so chose, on the side of illusion, where you would see dancing across this sheet in the darkness, lit from behind, the puppets interacting with one another. The music from the gamelan band would, of course, float through the sheet and over and envelop the audience there. You could be in this land of dreams on one side of the sheet, but if you were an engineer, you could go sit on the other side and watch the Delang. It was okay. It was just as David says, everyone is welcome, all points of view are honored. So I thought, I'm going to sit back and forth between the two. I'll enjoy the show and I'll watch the engineering side, where the Delang is with a little bell in his gestures directing the gamelan orchestra, maybe about 12 pieces in this orchestra. In the log were upwards of 100 puppets. They carried all this stuff in. And each puppet was a character from the Ramayana. Now it is said that Indonesian children, Balinese children in particular, are some of the most well-adjusted, secure humans on the earth, because they have 100 characters to choose from, which to identify from. We might have Arnold Schwarzenegger with his automatic assault weapon across a very muscled body. Why he needs this, I don't know. So, but they have 100 characters to choose from. And each of those characters has an attribute and a foible, showing, reflecting our particular possession. So, for instance, Simar the elephant is noted for his wisdom. Out of his mouth, his trunk, come wisdoms that help advance the well-being of the people. And out of the other end come farts. And so that sort of tempers, what he has to say. So each of these characters present a possibility to the children and to the adults of Bali. The show began. Dreamlike strains of the music came out. I was lulled into this. Now the story today was about Sita, the beautiful bride of Rama. She's in the forest. She sees a white fawn, a deer. She's enchanted. She goes over. And boom, the fawn changes into a Ramana, the 10-headed beast who grabs Sita and flies away with her. The gamelan band is going nuts, and all of this is going on. And so my heart's up in my throat, and Rama has to go get Sita. So he calls on the Hanuman and the monkey army, and the gamelan band goes as the monkey army takes boulders because they know that Ramanana, whatever its name is, takes Sita all the way to the island off the coast of India. So it used to be called Ceylon. So anyway, the monkeys build this land bridge out of boulders from the mainland all the way to the island. And the army, the monkey army, goes across the bridge and grabs Sita and trashes Ramayana. What the heck is his name? It's Ramana. That's what it is. Ramana. There's so many Ramas and Ramananas and Ramada Inn, and it's all this stuff. Anyway, they grab Sita, bring her back, and she's reunited. And to this day, the Indian people celebrate this in Diwali. They will take little clay candles with wax in them and burn them and line their roofs and their porches with these lights to show Sita the way back home to her people. Yes. So I was enthralled with this. I wasn't aware of it exactly, but I was on fire inside, having had this experience. And I didn't find out till 10 years later. I'm on the stage with my brother, David. He's got a table very much like Gary's with all the equipment on it for sound effects and music. And I'm on the stage next to him telling the stories. And I think I was hit by a revelation that my inspiration for this work that my brother and I did for 40 years. We told stories to 1 million people over those 40 years, from age 2 to 102. And those stories were ignited in that evening of Shadow Puppet Theater, because there we were. I was the Delang and David was the Gamelan. And rather than forcing people to go in front of the screen or back of the screen, we folded it out so that our audience could witness both, and the cooperation between brothers to make this happen. So my passion continues today for storytelling, and it is my hope to find a way to tell the story about regenerative agriculture. And that is the way out of our problems with climate, because regenerative agriculture shows with it shows in many ways how to save ourselves by making farming compatible with the elements, by covering the ground, by also taking herd animals going over the ground. That ignites the microbes underneath the soil, and they get enlivened and retain moisture in the soil, and moisture goes up, makes it rain, and there's the elements that will help us help the soil bring down the carbon out of the air. And that will, I think, deliver us from our problems with climate. So, yeah, thank you.
That was about half an hour.
Did it last a half hour? Yeah.
Right, we'll start from the beginning. On, well, from the sixth, we're fine. Five, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, you tell me when you're ready to start.
I'll just tell them what's about.
Okay.
I'll put it on there. Like Jim Morrison. Well, I know you're talking a lot about vibration, and to be honest, this song is not the most high vibration song, but the reason I chose it, I wrote it in 2020 at the start of the pandemic, and a lot of the things in it have been kind of prophetic, and it's kind of my fire and brimstone song and righteous indignation at what's going on in our world right now. And I think it's very appropriate. Listen to the lyrics, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So thank you for having me, and thank you, Gary, for inviting me. So. But, yeah, here we go.
Things I seem to forget. The nights of just regret. But I never placed a bet on it tomorrow. Moon has always been tight. Lately life ain't right. Can't seem to sleep at night. Feel I'm stuck in the cosmic fight. Is this what you expected? Tell me you've been infected. Has the world corrected the great mistakes we made? These times are getting out of hand. Things ain't going as planned. Slipping away like sand. In the hourglass of time. The separation. God, can I make a reparation on behalf of all mankind? I'm losing my mind. Everybody's so lost soul. We need each other to feel whole. These times are taking their toll. And we and you. Sirens imploding. Yahweh is foreboding. The Antichrist is bloating. He's setting up, it's loading. These times are getting out of hand. Things ain't going as planned. And I don't understand how we ended up right here. These times are getting out of hand. Things ain't going as planned. Since the fall of man. And so we all feel. Be nice to play the whole band. Here we go. Guys across the land, evil in the heart of man. Tell me, where do you stand? Where's some humanity? Lost in all the insanity. Hope is just a profanity. And dogs go away! There you go. Sorry, it's hard to do that here. Thank you. If you know anybody that plays guitar and all the other things, I want to take this all on tour. I have 9 songs. It's the album's called The Passage of Time. They're all different. They're not as intense as that one, but I thought it kind of, with the week we've had in the world and everything going on, it kind of fit the mood. So it's on bandcamp.com. So it's not, you don't have to pay for it if you don't want to. You can if you want, but it's free. It's basically free. 9 songs, Passage of Time. Just look for Derek Marshall and the 27 Club. Thank you.
Anybody have a real passion they want to share something right now? Somebody moved in. There are some people on Zoom. Okay. Oh, yeah.
That made some comments in the chat. So there's a couple chat comments I can read. So you got Sharon Kirk. Says, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there today. I have to leave celebration now. I just want to share my love for you all and my gratitude to Gary in particular for all I've learned from him and the wonderful influence and impact he's had on my journey. I'm so happy I was able to come to home camp, even though it was only one time. I love you all, and Gary, I love and honor you always. Lots of hearts and smiley faces and prayers. And then Kara Kaczynski is on Zoom. She has a heart. And then Gretchen says, good morning, Pebbleites. I can't find my camera. Gary's home camp was marvelous. So great to see you all and share dinners and create together. Last night, Garrett played Sherlock Holmes in my pirate skit, and you played the pirates. Thank you all. Love you. I think that is it. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, does anyone on Zoom want to say anything? I guess not. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Gary, for helping us out today. Let's quickly move our chairs out, fold them if you want to, and we'll just have a nice circle over here to close with. Yeah. Oh. Your messages to Jimmy Carter for his 100th birthday. Here you go, and they'll be mailed to him. Post-haste.
On our way.
Thank you for that. Zoom is still on. An ocean, I've got love to fill an ocean. I've got love to fill an ocean in my soul, in my soul. We've got love to fill an ocean. We've got love to fill an ocean. We've got love to fill an ocean in my soul. Joy like a fountain. We've got joy like a fountain. We've got joy like a fountain. We've got joy like a fountain in our soul. We've got joy like a fountain. We've got joy like a fountain. Okay, let's make our circle.
My heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen.
Never forsake you, I will never forget you, I will never forget. Listen, listen to my heart song. Will never forget you, I will never forsake you, I will never forget you, I will never forsake you.
That's a wrap.
So you like me to do a little thing, a little fundraiser for better. Sure. Tonight it's Donald Trump for Pebble, all the benefits go to Pebble. Right before the election. We'll have a Q and A, but all the answers will be live. Gary, thank you for inviting me.